just raise your hands and then we'll get the opening statement from the coach.
Yeah, so start of a big 7-game stretch that we've been talking about since we put the schedule together. Well, doesn't start out easy on the road, and maybe the best environment in the Big Ten from what I've heard. I've never been there. I've been to a lot of Big Ten arenas. They didn't really ever recruit any of my guys around me, so I was never able to get to Purdue. So this will be my first time in there, but Cliff tells us it's a great environment. I've heard from a lot of people it's a great environment. I'm looking forward to being in the environment. Big basketball fan, so I love that. The team, on the other hand, we have played. Just was up in Toronto. They've got a lot of the guards back. They're obviously missing Edie and lost their starting center, but they're a good team. I mean, they go through what picked to win the Big Ten. I think they've been ranked 39 straight AP polls, which I think they're #1 in the country. If you look at schools over the last 5 years, if you look at schools that in those entire 5 years have been in a Power 5 conference, they're first in wins. So I think only Houston and Gonzaga have more wins in the country, and obviously they're playing in the Big Ten. So if you look at a program's superiority over the long haul, I mean, over the last 5 years, they arguably may be the best program in the country. So they, to me, this is a big test, and we're going to see what we're made of. I think we've got a great team. I think they've got a great team, and they're a great program with a great coach. I mean, they've got a million sets. They know how to attack you. I mean, you think you're going to guard them this way, they got to counter everything. So we're going to get tested. Our coaching staff's got to be really good. Players are going to be really locked in. So it'll be good for us. Also, given a stat, it's been since 1967 since a opponent ranked this high has come into Purdue in a non-conference game. I think it was UCLA back in 1967. So I'm sure they'll be ready for us. I'm sure this is a game that their fans are looking forward to, and we're gonna have to be ready to go. So it'll be great for our team. It'll be great for our veteran guys. It'll be great for our young guys. Like, this is a game that this is why we coach. This is why we play. Like, let's get to some big games like this. So.
Start on the right, Tony.
This is going to be the first trip for a few freshmen, a few new, what do you tell them, and just how do you kind of prepare them for this? The environment.
Yeah, I mean, we tell them the environment's going to be great. We know it. I also told them this morning in video, like, the toughest competitors I've ever coached have been at their best in the toughest environments. Kind of referenced Brandon Miller at South Carolina a couple years ago. Like, you look at our guys that have played well at Auburn, our guys that have played well on the road you look at what Clowney did late against Arkansas, what Brandon did late against them. I mean, if you want to be a competitor, it's a lot easier, be a front runner and look great at home when the whole crowd's behind you. The real competitors show up on the road.
Yeah, Coach, kind of building off that, you only have 1 or 3 home games left until non-conference or until conference play. The next one's on December 14th. Was that kind of an emphasis in you making the schedule, wanting to go on the road a lot and test this team?
Yeah, I don't know if that's an emphasis, but just the way it worked out with how many home games we try to get. We got the 3 right out of the gate, and then so we want good games. You got to get some neutrals. You also, we get Creighton at home. Like, if you want any good home games. These other high majors aren't getting bought. You got to set up, home and away. So Purdue's coming back down here next year. Creighton, we went there. They're coming back next year. So we're trying to get the schedule better, both for our home games. I mean, we had Houston in a series. We had Memphis in a series. We're trying to get those better teams to come to our place. You got to go to their place. A lot of times, you got to go on the road to start some of those series, which is fine. So that's kind of what happened here. In fact, we get Illinois and Birmingham. We'll get Arizona coming back to Birmingham next year. I think that game in Birmingham, some home games, we're trying to get better competition overall. I think I saw stats somewhere in the 5 years we've been in the SEC, we've been overall strength of scheduling has been what, third, second, first the last 3 years in the SEC. So we want to schedule tough. We want to test ourselves against the best teams in the country and see where we've got weaknesses and make our weaknesses better before conference play. Part of that, you got to go on the road and play some of these.
Yeah, just what is the overall message about facing a team that also has pedigree like you guys do in terms of Final Four last year, and then specifically Braden Smith, I think his assist rate is one of the tops in the country right now. Just what stands out about his play?
I mean, Braden's one of the best point guards. I mean, everybody in the country knows he's one of the best guards in the country. I mean, his IQ's off the charts. You know, you look at him in pick and rolls, he's super smart. He can hit a three coming off, he can get to his mid-range and hit it at a pretty high level. He can make all, I mean, you help off the wrong guy, he's finding them. The roller's open, he's gonna find them. You know, almost 10 assists a game is absurd, but it's not an abnormality. He averaged over 7 assists a game last year, so he's good. One of the most skilled guards in the country. He's been doing it for a long time. So we've got to have a game plan for him, and it may need to change during the course of the game. I mean, we may think something's going to work, and then it's not working real well. So we got plan A, plan B, plan C, and hopefully we figure out some way to slow him down a little bit. As far as the programs both coming off Final Four, like I said, this is the most winning Power 5 team that's been a Power 5 over the last 5 years, like in the last 5 years. So, you know, they were able to get to the championship game. You know, they played UConn, we played them. We both lost to them, but they're good. We played them. I think, you know, lining this game up, 2 teams that were in the Final Four last year, 2 teams. I think, you know, we look at wins. If you look at teams that have only been in a Power 5 conference over the last 5 seasons, and I'd say Power 5 because the Pac-12 was involved in the last 5 seasons. I think Purdue's first in wins, and we're 5th in wins in the last 5 seasons. So that's 2 pretty good programs. Now they've been good for an extremely long time with Painter running it. You know, we haven't been at their level for as long as they've done it, but here recently we've gotten a lot better, and we're still not at their level. But you know, this is a really good game between 2 teams that have been, you know, top 5, and when you count Power 5 wins in the last 5 years. So I think Painter wants to schedule tough. We do. We're 2 coaches looking to play our best basketball in March. I think the sooner you figure out where you've got weaknesses, the better off you are, and I'm sure that's part of his mindset too.
Middle, Charlie.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned how Cliff started to play there. Do you lean on that experience at all going into this game? And just, I guess the second part of that, through the first 3 games, what have you thought of the way that he's played for you guys?
Well, he's getting back to, you know, he tweaked his back like before we played games. I think he's getting his athleticism back. He's, you know, we brought it up in video this morning what it's like playing at Mackey Arena. You know, Coach Pannone said, hey, in practice today, you know, hey Cliff, is anybody going to be able to hear that call in Mackey Arena? He's like, no. Like, I think he knows the level of noise, the crowd environment that's there. You know, he's had some decent games against them too. I mean, he's played Edie. I mean, it's hard to play Edie well. I mean, he's the most dominant big in college basketball in a long time. So, but I thought he's done well against Purdue at times. I think he averaged about 11 and 5 and like a block and a half or something in his games against Purdue, which if you look at bigs going against Edie, that's probably as good as most bigs have done against Zach. So, you know, he's on a different program. We're obviously going to play a different style. They don't have Edie. You know, they don't even have who's supposed to be their starting big this year, but this is a team that has maybe been the best in the country, developing bigs, getting bigs, good bigs with high potential want to go there. They do a great job developing them, so they still have good bigs, and Cliff's going to have to play really well for us.
Purdue has a bit more size than McNeese. How does opponent's size really impact rotation and game plan?
Yeah, you know what, we're gonna have to keep size in on their size for the most part. So, you know, against McNeese, you could go small and be all right. I don't know if we're gonna be able to go small too much against 7-2. And so we're gonna have to do a better job keeping them off the glass than we did against McNeese, particularly in the second half. And I've seen Coach Painter's been talking about their rebounding, so I'm sure he's all over them about it. So, you know, they haven't rebounded as well as he would like from what I'm seeing, so I'm sure that it's gonna get picked up, and we're gonna really have to do a better job keeping them off the offensive board. So we're gonna have to keep Grant, Cliff, Aiden Sherrill, hopefully he's growing up. This will be a big game for him. Freshman, got 3 under his belt. Like how, you know, he's our biggest guy. So, you know, can we get him to give us some good quality minutes against their size? You know, can we play Jaren at the 3 and 4 a little bit more to stay bigger across the front line? So, yeah, we're gonna try, you know, Darian Reed at the 3, look, got some size. So we're gonna have to go that way. I also think, even though Diabate's not big, he's tough, he's physical, we can get him someone there. And, you know, he seems like he would do great in the Big Ten, like with his toughness, physicality. So he may need to get him in there to bring some toughness to us.
Yeah, kind of on that note, I saw Jaren play as a 3. Is that something you ever really envisioned with him, or is that something that he's kind of developed, and you don't usually look at your lineups and have a Jaren and Nelson and Omeroy all on?
Yeah, I think he's come along. I mean, he's attacking the rim a lot better. It more started coming this summer, and we tried to tell him too. Like we knew he was skilled enough. You know, he moves well too. I mean, you watch him move. He moves like a 2-guard, 3-man on defense, but he's 6'10". So, you know, it gives us a chance to get him more minutes, get Grant more minutes. You know, it gives us a chance to be a great rebounding team. If we're worried about a team killing us on the glass, and you got 6'10", 6'11", 6'10" with 7'6" wingspan across the front line, you better be able to rebound a little bit better. So, and you know, he's going to start shooting well. He's a good shooter. Got his confidence back, but he's playing aggressive. He's a lot more physical. He's put on weight. He's stronger. So, yeah, I don't know that we're going to do it a ton, but it's definitely an option we've got.
Yeah, once this 7-game stretch is up, I mean, what would you hope to be able to say about what your team did? Of course, 7 wins would be nice, but outside of just the win column, what do you want to be able to see from this team over the course of those 7 games?
Yeah, I think one is our offense needs to pick up. So we need to have gone against some of the better teams in the country and been able to dictate pace, tempo, and get the ball moving, very unselfish play on offense. I think we've struggled a little bit with some of that in these first 3 games. So we got to get our offense back on pace with what we expected this year to be. More important than even the offense is, like, are we competing like in every game? Like, maybe we don't win all 7, then it'd be a hard stretch to win all 7 with, you know, road games and neutrals and all that. It would be great. I think we're more than capable of winning all 7, but if we go 5-2, 6-1, whatever we go, 4-3, I don't know. Like, did we compete in every game? Did we give ourselves a chance to win? Did we execute? Did we get great shots? And if we didn't, if a team just outplays us, they outplay us and we learn from it. I don't want any of the 7 games to come out of it with a loss. Team played harder than us. Team executed better than us. Team competed more than, like, no, I can live with a loss as long as we competed, we executed, we got the shots we wanted. If they just didn't drop, they didn't drop. So can we do that in all 7 games? If so, I'm fine with whatever the record ends up being, but if we do all that, the record will take care of itself.
Anyone else? Thanks,
Appreciate
Dave.
you guys.